So, what makes Smartleby different from popular AI writing tools like ChatGPT and Grammarly? Because Grammarly is well known with writing, especially when it comes to supporting revision, critical thinking, and academic integrity, which are so important today, right? With writing and
Yep.
just academic, um, you know, assignments in general, right?
Yeah. I'd say the biggest difference between Smartleby and other other applications like ChatGPT and Grammarly is that um, Smartleby isn't designed to write for the students, so it's designed to help them to think critically and to write and revise on their own. And so, I'm not putting down ChatGPT or Grammarly or any of the other tools. They're great for what they do. And in some cases in the professional world, you might need it to generate some type of content in a business context where that smaller task is actually something that can be taken over by AI while you take care of the larger tasks as a human being. But I digress. Uh,
Yeah.
so basically, it's Smartleby helps students to learn how to write and revise on their own, and so you know it also helps them to maintain the authenticity in their voice. And so, just simply put, it doesn't replace the writer, it develops the writer.
That right. So it's not like this is in competition with all those tools. It's another tool in their tool belt that they can utilize.
Exactly. Yep,
Right.
exactly.
I love that. I love letting my students know that there's all these tools out there, but it's what you choose to put in your tool belt that makes the difference. And then you can pull it out when you need it. So I always tell my students, you got to have your toolkit or your tool belt, whatever you want to call it, have it ready and good to go. So you've added a really great tool for their toolkit or their tool belt. So that's great. I love that. Yeah, that's wonderful. So, Michael, you spent more than 2 decades, as you said, and as I mentioned in the introduction, teaching writing and critical thinking. What have you noticed about how students' needs have changed, especially as technology has become more embedded in the writing process today?
Well, I don't want to date myself, but it's like it's been a longer, over 20 years, but I've um, from the very first classes that I taught, and as a graduate teaching assistant, well, the majority of my students back then used typewriters and word processors. But over the years, students, they face the same challenges, and so they still need to be able to kind of make sense out of information that they have and synthesize it and to put it into a coherent essay. But what I found is that over the years, there's been more information out there. You have the internet, the web, and so I feel like my students have been kind of like they're drowning in all this information, and so that's now they need to be able to make sense out of all that, and to be able to synthesize these all of this information into essays or whatever writing tasks they have at hand. um, and so I would say, you know, one of the things I would say is that the AI probably it's made those, the writing skills and the analytical skills like even more important um, now rather than less important.
So true. Yeah.